So today, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful tools a teacher has, being supportive. Now, it sounds simple, right? But how do we actually show it? How do we make it feel real in a way that truly connects with our students? Let's break it down.
And this thought right here, I think we've all been there. You genuinely care about your students, you see their potential, but figuring out how to translate that feeling into actual, everyday actions, well, that can be a real challenge. It's a super common dilemma, and we're going to get into some clear, practical ways to solve it.
Okay, so before we jump straight into the how-to, we really need to get clear on the why. What makes a supportive classroom not just a nice little bonus, but an absolute necessity for real learning to happen? Let's build that foundation.
First things first, let's get a key term on the table: teacher intervention. It sounds kind of formal, but really it's everything you do or say, from the way you explain a new concept to something as small as raising an eyebrow. It's any little thing that shifts how learning is happening in the room. And when you see it that way, you realize every single moment is an opportunity. And this, right here, is the main takeaway. Being supportive isn't just one type of intervention. It is the foundation stone for all of them. Think about it. When your students feel seen, when they feel valued and respected, you build real rapport. And that positive vibe, it directly changes their attitude, how much they participate, and how much they actually learn. It's the bedrock for everything else.
All right, our foundation is set. Now for the practical stuff. How do we turn our words into actual tools that build up that supportive classroom? Let's get into how to say the right thing. It really boils down to 4 key things. First up, you've got to pay attention. I mean, really pay attention. Just being present with a student sends a massive signal that they matter. Next, you affirm and validate their efforts. That's how you build their confidence. Then you get specific. Noticing a really well-written sentence or a clever strategy makes your praise mean something. And finally, and this one is so important, you've got to offer genuine support, which is a totally different thing from empty flattery.
Okay, let's really zoom in on this difference because it's crucial. Genuine support is all about the effort, the process, the things a student can actually control. It's specific and earned. But flattery? That's that vague, "you're so smart" comment. It can actually feel pretty hollow, and honestly, it can create a ton of pressure. And trust me, students can spot the difference from a mile away.
But support isn't just about what you say when a student hands in their work. It's woven into the 100 tiny interactions you have every single day. And often, these small, consistent gestures are the ones that have the biggest impact. So much of this is built in those small moments. Just using a student's name, or saying good morning with some real warmth, or making eye contact and smiling at an individual student. These aren't just manners, they're messages. They say, "I see you. I'm glad you're here." It's about showing that you actually enjoy being with them. These little things, done consistently, build this incredible climate of trust and care. Okay, so we've got the daily habits down. Now let's talk about those specific, high-impact moments where a quick, supportive intervention can be a total game changer for a student. You want to be on the lookout for these moments. When you see a student putting in that extra bit of energy or taking the lead in their group, call it out, acknowledge it. That reinforces the behavior you want to see. And of course, you praise a good piece of work, but maybe most importantly, when you see a student who seems checked out or disengaged, your first move shouldn't be to assume they're lazy. A simple, quiet, "Hey, is everything okay?" can change a student's entire day. That's where support is just everything. So, we've talked about the why, the what, and the when. The last piece of the puzzle is turning all this knowledge into a real habit in your own practice. And that starts with asking yourself a couple of honest questions. Here's a great one to think about. When you give feedback, is it all about the final product, the grade, or do you make a point to talk about the process? Do you notice their hard work, their creative approach, the way they collaborated? Because sometimes praising the how is way more powerful than just grading the what. And this is the key, right? It has to be you. This isn't about putting on a performance or adopting some fake, overly cheerful persona. It's about finding ways to be more supportive that still feel authentic and natural to you. Think of it like a volume dial, not an on-off switch. You just want to turn it up a little, to a level that feels sincere, so it never comes across as fake. So let's end with a simple, manageable challenge. Don't feel like you have to overhaul everything overnight. Just ask yourself this: what is one small, supportive action from everything we talked about that you can try tomorrow? Maybe it's just making a point to use a student's name when you talk to them, or praising the effort on just one assignment, because it's those small, consistent actions that build that incredible foundation of support, one stone at a time.